In order, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First of all, I want to apologize to our IT department. I did not give them the heads up they requested, so my apologies. So welcome everybody to the June 17th, 2026 meeting of the County Board of County Commissioners. I would like to remind everybody that this is a public meeting. We are being recorded via audio and video, and we do have a hybrid option for those to attend online and to participate virtually. Awards, recognitions, and correspondence. Oh, and I think Commissioner Doran is online, by the way.
Okay.
So with that, awards, recognitions, and correspondence.
Nope.
Commissioner Doran.
As always, I'd like to thank, even though it's ongoing, I'd like to thank all of our first fire responders for all of their work the last 3 days on the multiple fires throughout Umatilla County, and hats off to our emergency manager, Sage, for keeping us all up to date and informed. And God bless and good speed to all of them. So thank you.
Well said, and I couldn't agree more. Thank you very much for that. I had the pleasure last night of attending the second annual graduation ceremony from the Proud River Leadership Academy. It used to be the Hermiston Leadership class, and it was a casualty by COVID, and UEC, or Umatilla Electric Co-op, said, hey, this is too important to let go by the wayside. So they reenacted it last year, and we had several members of our staff, including, I see Rachel sitting in the audience. She was one of those in that class, and Jennifer as well. And so this year was the second graduation class. But last night, every year the class votes on one outstanding, one of their classmates who gets an award. And it's called the Proud River Guide. And it's, like I said, it's voted on by their peers. So it's really a big deal when somebody wins hands down on this award. And we have a winner, Mackenzie Bowie was that winner for that award. So, yeah.
Congratulations.
Well, you better take a minute.
Congratulations.
Other than Mackenzie from A&T, we also had Lieutenant Justin Russell from the Sheriff's Office, was a member of the class, as was Bob Walder, was a member, and Megan Dobcheski, and they're from Community Development. So Umatilla County was very well represented, and so I'm very proud of those 4 individuals for completing the course. It was a lot of hard work, so congratulations and thank you. Okay.
Sure.
Approval of the meeting minutes, June 3rd, 2026.
I move to approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Any additions to the agenda?
We have a copy on the accreditation for dispatch scheduled for the meeting today.
Oh, that probably should have been under the awards and recognitions. My apologies, Under Sheriff. So let's go back to awards, recognitions, and correspondence. Under Sheriff, did you want to introduce them, or do you want Captain Primer to, or the Sheriff? I see all 3 of you here.
This is Jim Littlefield, Under Sheriff for the Umatilla County Sheriff's Office, and as part of our continuing efforts to accredit the entire agency, dispatch for Umatilla County, the Umatilla County 911 Dispatch Center has just been awarded accreditation as well through the Northwest Accreditation Alliance. We have Mr. Hayes, the Executive Director, calling in to present the letter, and we have a plaque that is similar to the one we had when the law enforcement section was accredited. So that'll be hanging in our, proudly hanging in our media room alongside the other one, but it's a big accomplishment for the staff. Credit to Karen and her staff, Lieutenant Russell worked hard to meet the standards that are required to achieve accreditation. A part of Sheriff Rowan's strategic plans all along have been to get the agency accredited. It's been like a 2.5-year process that we worked through, but we've achieved our goal. So Mr. Hayes is on the line if he'd like to say a few words.
Yeah, I do see him. So, Mr. Hayes, the floor is yours.
Good morning. Good morning. Just want to make sure you can hear me okay.
Yeah, maybe we can, Tim, can we get the volume up just a hair on that?
Check in. I'll speak louder too if that needs to be.
Yeah, we're
So,
good.
Okay, good morning, commissioners and members of the community. As introduced, I'm Scott Hayes. I'm the executive director for the Northwest Accreditation Alliance. And I appreciate the opportunity to address the commission and present the Umatilla Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center with its first award of accreditation. So we did go through this a little bit since the Sheriff's Department was awarded their initial accreditation for the law enforcement side back in February. So this may seem a little redundant, but it's worth hearing. Law enforcement is experiencing a changing society with increased demands for police accountability and transparency. As in the past, our profession must face these challenges and work with our communities to address their concerns. Accreditation is one step towards building community trust. The Northwest Accreditation Alliance is comprised of the Oregon State Sheriff's Association, the Oregon Association of Chiefs of Police, and the Association of Public Safety Communication Officials, and provides accreditation services for 117 communication centers and law enforcement agencies in Oregon. Accreditation goals are straightforward. They support the continued improvement of law enforcement and communication services, to establish best practice through professional standards, to promote agency accountability and transparency, and to enhance overall management. For the 911 Center to become accredited, it had to adhere to 56 communication standards. Compliance is generally expressed through policies and procedures and adherence to Oregon state laws, Oregon Administrative Code, constitutional provisions, and county policy. Our standards are established based on national best practices and changes in federal and Oregon law. In addition to meeting all 56 standards, the agency must demonstrate compliance by adhering to established policies and current best practice. Reaccreditation will then occur for the Communications Center 3 years from now. It's a monumental step to be evaluated by an independent outside organization to have its policies and procedures scrutinized. I'm aware that several staff members were involved in the process, but I would like to acknowledge Captain Karen Primer and Lieutenant Justin Russell for diligently preparing their agency for this review. The 911 Center is the 11th communication center in Oregon to receive accreditation. So on behalf of the Northwest Accreditation Alliance and its board of directors, I'd like to congratulate you on receiving your first award for the 911 Center.
Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Hayes. I really appreciate that background and the information, and knowing that, how many PSAPs are there now, Captain? 40, and there's only 11 that have the certification. Huge honor. Congrats. Well done to your staff. So, all right. Thank you again, Mr. Hayes. Appreciate your time today.
You're more than welcome. Have a good day.
Did you want to say anything, Captain?
I just would like to acknowledge really diligent, and it's also going to the Leadership Academy at the same time, as well as anything else I get from it. And a lot of it.
It's amazing. Well done.
And to
Congratulations.
the entire staff that works there every day, and we've been traditionally short of staffing over the last few years, but they've stepped up. Every dispatcher, every person who works in the center is so dedicated, and we really appreciate their work.
Yeah. When you get that plaque, would you bring it and show it off to us? I'd love to see that.
Send you a picture. For having maintenance.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Thank you. I look forward to seeing it hanging. Congratulations. Hard work well done. Okay, back to additions to the agenda. None. Okay. Public input and recognition of visitors. Now is the time if you have something to discuss with the commissioners that's not on the agenda. Now is your opportunity to do so. Mr. Chalmers. Good to see you in the building again.
Happy retirement for me. So thank you for this opportunity. If you're not aware, should be aware, there is a push nationwide to promote Sharia law in all jurisdictions. And I'm asking for the board to consider a ban of any parallel legal system that would conflict with our current legal system in Umatilla County. It's a starting point. I think it's worth taking on, and I'm just encouraging the board to consider banning any parallel legal system that would impact our current legal system.
Do you have any documentation you can leave with?
I'll be more than happy to provide.
Yeah.
I don't have it with me.
That's
I'm
fine.
actually in the courthouse for a separate issue.
Okay.
And took advantage of your scheduled meetings.
Well, I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah.
You can just get that to me and I can get it to our legal
Perfect.
department.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate
thank you.
Consideration.
Thank you very much. Anybody else for public input? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we'll jump into our business items. Number one on the agenda, workers' compensation insurance. Yeah, don't let him sit there in the back. Make him come up here with you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Dan Lanai, Director of Administrative Services. And today we have before you our insurances for the next year. And I have with us John Anderson, our agent of record. And he is with Wheatland Insurance, and he's going to go ahead and give a presentation going over our workman's comp, our property and liability, and also our information cybersecurity insurance too. So I'll go ahead and give the floor to John Anderson.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Morning, John.
Appreciate you guys being on the top of the agenda. We're on our way to Silverwood. My 6-year-old son is in the car and he is through the roof. Before I get
Little
into
jealous.
the specifics, a couple of things I want to say thank you, and I very much appreciate your staff, Dan, Jennifer, Doug, the department heads. They've been great to work with and in getting us the things that we need as we move through the year. Also, at this year's annual CIS conference, Umatilla County was given their 25 continuous years plaque, so I brought that home for you, and I'll leave that with you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Some good news, some okay news, and some things to discuss. So first of all, cybersecurity, we have that with as a supplemental policy with a company called Cowbell. We've had this since I've come on board as agent of records, and a moderate increase of $1,500 on that policy. Overall, in the beginning, it was around $32,000. Last year, it took a $6,000 decrease. This year, it bumped up. So my recommendation is to stay with Cowbell.
Can I ask a question there?
Sure.
So what would be the total cost on that?
$28,955.
Okay, thank you.
Can I jump in, John, or Commissioner Schaefer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Couple questions I have is, we've added additional IT and security, almost consistently for the last 3 years. And a lot of that was based on controlling the cost for our cybersecurity, increases. And I know that last year it seemed to make a difference. What's driving this increase? If we have added security and no claims, what's adding this additional expense? And I'm not sure I'm totally sold on it.
Yeah, so this is just a national increase for Cowbell across the board for their cyber liability product. So it's nothing in particular that Umatilla County did or didn't do that drove this. It's just a national increase for this product. So it's likely that it's a claims ratio across the board for this product and not specific to Umatilla County.
So I guess my question is that these steps that we've taken aren't helping our claims or our costs then?
Well, we did look into a new product that you guys were rolling out this year, and we approached Cowbell to see if that specific item was going to give us a credit, and they said no. So I wouldn't say that these things that you're doing for the county are bad in any way. It's just not giving us a credit within this particular product. This particular product is one of 3 options that we look at every year. And so one is with CIS inside their property and liability package. There's some pros and cons to that we've discussed in the past. And then there's another carrier, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but they were not competitive with pricing.
Well, we've got to balance this somewhere. Is the price for the cowbells a value, or is the price to invest in the IT security locally more valuable?
Yeah, I would happily be involved in that conversation with whoever we need to have that with, and help you guys so that you can have facts in front of you and make that decision.
Dan Lanai, is there something you could address to that, to Commissioner Doran's question?
Well, I think, a lot of those items, Commissioner, would be too, it's just as time changes too, you have to keep up with what the current changes are. So some of the things we implement, we need to make sure we implement to continue at least receive the same amount of insurance value that we get, because if we don't, you fall behind the curve because new things come out all the time. New ways to attack your assets. There's new items that are new vulnerabilities. So you're always staying on top of that. There are other things that some people have done, would be instead of doing insurance, is contracting with a contractor that they pay a service fee that they will be on hand to come in and do so much work and everything. There are some counties that have done something similar. At our stance though, for $28,000, I don't know if that's actually a cost, because some of the counties are a lot bigger, where theirs would be more in the 6-figure for their insurance because of how much they have, like Multnomah or Lane County or some of these other ones. So, but we can pursue that one too. There's that cost factor. Which way should we go?
Yeah,
So-
it's not the 48,000, it's the 162,000 in additional software over the last few years. It kind of makes it a hard decision. Is do we just keep paying insurance and let the software? I mean, if our risk is the same either way, and keep the cost for that risk keeps going up, at some point we have to weigh that out.
Well, I know when I was at a conference a couple years ago, and what brought to my attention was that was right after one of our other counties got hit with a $400,000 hijack fee, if you will, to get their data back. And at that conference, we were told if you have taken these steps, you can qualify for this much insurance. If you don't do these steps, you only qualify for this much insurance. And I'm sure those numbers change, but back then it was $50,000 if you didn't do the steps versus, I want to say it was $500,000 or $1 million if you did take the steps. And that was a couple years ago. So I don't know if that has any factor into what you're talking about, John, or
That's still the same within CIS. There's qualifications.
Yeah.
Measures that you have to take to qualify.
right.
And
Yeah,
I guess that's my point is John's just told us that our rates are going up even though we keep adding IT security. So that's my biggest concern is this a never-ending expense that just goes up by 30% a year every time a new product comes out, but our insurance keeps going up too? Somewhere there's got to balance out. Anyway, that was my comments.
Yeah, the one thing I would add to that, commissioners, too, is, all the security measures we put in, it's never 100% guaranteed. Things can happen. They do happen. There's certain liabilities, especially personal identifying information, that could be a tough spot where we're at if that information gets out. And by providing the insurance and stuff, at least we have that coverage too to help us in those situations. But we can do everything we want, but it's not 100% guarantee. It's just helping to hopefully mitigate or reduce the impact. Hopefully that helps.
So that's one of the fourth items you're going to talk about, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would add to that, and John, you've seen this at the CIS conference, when they talk about the areas where we're seeing claims, in years past, it was on the employment practices side, sexual harassment, those kinds of things. They've got that under control. We're seeing a good trend on that side of things. What they're seeing growing is on the cyber side. I feel like that's kind of going anywhere. I've been to, the bad guys tend to be almost a half step, if not a full step ahead, and everybody's always trying to play catch up. So this is a volatile product. It's continuing to change and adapt to the world that we live in. So, but again, over 3 years, this is still down from 2000.
Sure.
Last year, a large increase this year.
Decreased last year, wasn't it?
Decrease last year. I mean,
Yeah.
decrease.
Yeah. Okay.
$6,000 went down.
Right.
Yeah, this year there's a small increase.
So we're still below where we started.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
About 40.
Okay. Do you want to hit all 4 points and have us do our decisions at the end, or do you want us to make a decision after each presentation? How do you want us to roll?
Go through it all.
Okay. Absolutely.
So next thing that we'll talk about is the CIS property and casualty. At this year's annual conference, they announced that CIS is in a very good position, and this is the first time I've seen it in 15 years of being in insurance. They offered a rate reduction. So all members of CIS, overall rate reduction of negative 3.25.
I think that's a direct result of the CIS board chair, actually.
You know what? I agree. So we were very happy to see that. They've been able to contain a lot of things. They've been working very hard on. One of them was the employment practices side of things. They've been able to cap that using risk management, kind of button that up. And so things are looking really good. On the property side, inside of that, it was like an 11% decrease. And so things have finally flattened out and are looking good. Means for Umatilla County, from where we were last year to this year, we're at a 4.6 increase. That's a direct result of the additions that we've made to the. I don't think there's anything else to touch on there unless you guys have questions. The elephant in the room is on the next policy.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So workers' compensation with Umatilla County is with Save Corporation. A couple of things that we've had this year, we're looking at a pretty substantial increase of $52,000. The result of that is two things. One is our payroll is up significantly, 2.4 million. That's easy to account for. The major factor in this is on one particular. And I want to be clear on this. This is not a Umatilla County situation. This is a statewide situation. Safe Corporation has been somewhat blindsided by a number of claims this year on that particular class code, PTSD. And so they called us about a month ago and gave us a heads up. All of our entities. They're saying 2 to 3 years of rate increase to try and capture this. PTSD claims are long-term claims and they are large. So Again, nothing that this entity did. These in Eastern Oregon have done, but it's part of a state pool with SAFE. The class code is all of the police department. So payroll and that's where we saw our increase. Good thing for this year, that was somewhat captured by what we did last year. We enrolled the county in the non-disabling claims program. We started utilizing that. The other major factor in SAFE's policy is your experience rating, so your loss history. So we were able to mitigate some of that, and that dropped from a 0.93 to a 0.88. So instead of a $25,000 cost last year, we received a $50,000. That did help offset, but still, the issue being with that particular class code. Fair warning, SAFE has not really figured out how to capture that. What it looks like, but they are giving a heads up that they weren't able to fully adjust for that this year. And expectations is that more of those are.
You're just full of good news.
Yeah, I wanted to end with the bad stuff. We're doing everything that we can. We're utilizing the tools that are available to us to try and mitigate this stuff. It's somewhat out of our hands. Claims within the county are on the rise as well. So next year, over 100% loss
And you're saying specifically for Umatilla County
rate on that point.
on that point.
Police class code, that's a statewide issue. Loss ratio.
Yeah.
So we have a number of open claims, and so we're not able to. I did offer to the staff that as we learn more from SAFE, that we'll be able to provide you guys more information halfway through next year and June. Yeah, so
For sure.
I think the last thing on the CIS side, we did look at a couple of different options. We're always looking at options to help the county. We looked at it, maybe insuring some of the high valued vehicles on the fleet.
I appreciate you looking at those cost-saving measures. Even if they don't pan out, we appreciate you looking for them.
So
So
we want to put the options on the table for you guys and let you guys make informed decisions.
Yeah. appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so item number 1 would be to approve renewal of workers' compensation insurance coverage with SAFE.
Move for approval?
Second, but I do have a question. So the total on that would be what?
It's, yeah,
The 350.
$357,195.62.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
so we want 2 separate motions on that, right? Yeah. Okay, so this one's just to approve the renewal of the insurance coverage. Any other questions or comments from the commissioners? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 2 is to approve the payable to SAFE in the amount of $357,195.62.
Move for approval?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Number 3, approve renewal of liability insurance coverage with CIS and authorize payment of premium.
John, does this cover all premiums for all of the bolt-ons?
I didn't hear that
All of
last.
the additional, is this for the full safe package with CIS?
This is for the full, they approved the workers' compensation with SAFE, and then we're looking at
Got it.
CIS. And this is the full package with CIS, property, liability, and auto.
Okay. Move for approval?
Second.
Okay, got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 4, approve renewal of cybersecurity insurance coverage with Cowbell and authorize payment of premium.
I move.
I'll second. I have an additional question. What's the dates of this? From when to when?
So these all follow the fiscal year, so all these policies are 7/1 to 7/1.
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Motion carries. I think we hit all of our spots with you, didn't we?
Yep. Just let me know if you have questions.
Oh, I'm sure we'll be in touch for that.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Enjoy Silverwood, John.
All right, y'all take care.
You too. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is RFP Award.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Josh Roberts, Criminal Division Lieutenant at the Sheriff's Office. As you recall, here a few months ago, I came before you to request, we put out an RFP for vehicle upfitting. For those who don't know, upfit refers to installation of all of the emergency lighting equipment that goes into a police vehicle. Before I was really into police and whatnot, I just thought police cars just came off the factory that way. They do not. They have considerable work that has to go into making them an emergency response vehicle. So we put out a RFP. The first round, we received 2 bids, and both were considered non-responsive for various reasons, and so we reopened the bid. Those 2 companies, Elite Upfitters out of Hetner and Lear out of Salem, both submitted bids prior to the due date. However, upon close review by County Council, Lear's bid did not meet some of the requirements of the RFP, and so they were once again considered non-responsive, leaving Elite Upfitters as the sole company that submitted a proper bid. This year we have 7 vehicles to upfit. We have 4 Ford Explorer hybrids and 3 Expeditions. And Elite has estimated that the total cost to complete the work will be $255,742.91. And additionally, this is a 3-year agreement with Elite, and they have agreed to lock their labor rate in at $95 an hour for the entirety of the 3 years. So today I'm requesting that we award the 3-year contract to Elite Upfitters and authorize payment for the work in the 2026 order not to exceed $255,742.91 for the first year, and then at a rate of $95 an hour for labor for the 2 subsequent years.
Any questions? I'm not seeing any questions, LT. Okay, wishes of the board.
I'd move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. I can't believe you didn't get a single question.
It's great.
Mark that on your calendar. Would you? Okay, safety action plan adoption.
Good morning, Commissioners. Megan Dr. State Planning Manager. In 2024, Umatilla County received a federal highway administration grant to create a safe streets action plan. This plan's been reviewed by the commissioners before. We had several meetings where you were able to provide input. It was just in a different format with a slideshow with our planning team. As part of the project, we did have a data collection component that's included in the action plan before you as addendum number 1. And this allowed us to acquire a bunch of roadway infrastructure data for GIS mapping, such as roadway types, conditions, baseline locations, and conditions. We also had a pilot project for data collection utilizing the sheriff's office flashing speed radar sign and some cell phone data that we purchased in order to determine the effectiveness of the flashing speed sign at several different locations throughout the county. So all of that information is in addendum 1. So I am before you to request adoption of the safety action plan with addendum number 1 so that we can utilize the plan for future grant funding.
Questions?
This was very impressive. You did a great job.
I agree with Commissioner Timmons, and it's long overdue, but a lot of work that Megan, Charlie, and the whole team put into this, and it's a document that we definitely have a foundational information and a place to start with. So thank you, Megan, and your whole team on this one. I'd move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? I too want to echo what the two commissioners said. Clearly, you guys put a lot of work and effort into that, so thank you. It looks amazing. So with that, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Thank you. CWPP Health TRL IGA with Gilliam County. Tried to skip ahead.
Morning, Commissioners. Joe Kumar, Public Health Director, Umatilla County Public Health. Before you today is a intergovernmental agreement that I worked on with legal counsel to put together that would allow UCO Health to perform the tobacco retail licensing inspections in Gilliam County. We currently already conduct much of the environmental health inspections in Gilliam County, restaurants, septic systems, etc. We utilize the same staff for the tobacco retail licensing program, and many of the inspections are able to be kind of routed in while we're already down there doing the other work. So there's very little additional cost for us to pick up this program, and there is revenue that comes with it through program element 76 from Oregon Health. Once we complete both inspection types on a tobacco retail licensed facility, we receive a check from the state for the cover the cost of that work. To answer any questions.
No, I don't have any questions. I think it's a great thing that you're doing it.
To make a motion?
Sure. I move to approve the IGA and authorize it to be signed.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Aye. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Now we get to do the CWPP Title III payment.
Morning, Commissioners. Sage Long, Umatilla County Emergency. Before you, I'm requesting authorization to process the payment to Northwest Management Inc. for the West County Community Wildfire Protection Plan. For the updated for the services. These are Title III Secure Rural Schools funds, and they may be used by participating counties to develop and carry out the CWPP. Northwest Management Inc. invoice 2580 is in the amount of $22,000 and represents 50% of the total contract for initial CWPP updated services, including the document kickoff meetings. So I'm looking for the approval of that payment. Continue.
I would move approval.
Mm-hmm. Second.
I was waiting for Commissioner Doran. I knew he was wanting to do that. So.
Thank you, Sage.
Got a motion, second. Any further discussion?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Sage. Okay, next up on our hit parade is going to be fair bylaws.
take that with me. Understanding here, the Umatilla County Fair Board has signed an updated version of their bylaws. By and large, the edits went to approval. That, question?
I do have a question on this. Down in here, that's what it talks about is the term of the fair board. And it says that fair officers can be, it's a 1-year term. And can they be right up for reelection the following year after their 1-year term?
Without looking at it closely, it's hard for me to say off the top of my head, but I believe that's correct. That'd be appointed by the board.
Right. So what I'm asking is the president.
It's a two-term limit.
It's a 2-term limit? Okay.
Yep.
Answers my question. Thank you.
Okay, any questions or any other questions?
I move to approve the fair bylaws and authorize the chair to sign them.
Second.
Got a motion, a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Motion carries. IT purchase MDR endpoint protection. Oh, we're getting 2 of them.
Good morning, Commissioner. Riley Workman, IT Manager. Before you today is a request to approve an execution order with CISR and MSISAC for purchase of managed detection and response. This product would replace our antivirus and give us basically 24/7, 365 detection and response of malware and viruses and that sort of thing. So they have a network operations center set up that allows them to, through the software purchase, it would allow them to monitor our network for malicious activity and then actually provide a response after hours or middle of the night type thing, and then notify our team so that we could come in and actually do other on-site stuff. But it would give us kind of like a head start type of thing. And so we went out, we worked with our MSISAC, which is the Multi-State Information Sharing and Analysis Center, and we worked with them on it, and they gave us a quote for $29,396.25. That's after a discount. The original price was $35,640. We got quotes from a couple other companies for the same product, and they were quite a bit higher. So through CDW, I believe it was Sophos, was $74,559.83, and then through CrowdStrike themselves, which is the same software, it would be $83,245.50. Do you have any questions?
Unfortunately, you're where you landed on this schedule, and I can't wait to hear what Commissioner Doran has got to say. I'm going to wait for him to chime in.
I do have a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
How much are we saving on the software that we're eliminating?
So our current antivirus has been around $13,000 a year, I believe. I think it was going up for the next few years.
So and I'm assuming that it's on the same schedule as other software, that it's June 1 to June 1 or June.
Yes, this would be
So
the fiscal year.
So the net cost of this would be $13,000 X dollars.
Because it'd be 13.
It'd be 13. Yeah, it'd be 13. 16. Or it'd be 16,000 more than we're currently paying for just basic antivirus.
And then what's the annual fee on this?
And that, I believe that would be the same. It'd be the $29,396.25.
And how long is that guaranteed for?
don't know.
So
I think that,
I guess the answer to that to Commissioner Doran would be that the actual next year fee would be the 35,000. This year
right.
is the 29,000, because if we go back a little bit, we paid to join the MSISAC, and the state of Oregon found that every county needs to, and they went and paid for everybody's coverage to be a member. And so we have credit of that amount of $6,000 there, I think it is. And that's why the first year is 29,000. We also applied for a grant through OEM and part of FEMA that they may actually reimburse us for this first year too. So we might have a net of zero for the first year. But going forwards would be the 35,000. So which
In year two.
yeah.
Yeah.
And there might be a little bit of cost of inflation increase, but it'll be around the 35,000.
And so explain to me the value between the 13,000 and the 35,000 and what we're getting.
So the value is the fact that there would be a 24/7 response, right? It would be it'd be a human responding to an incident that shows up in our network. And then notifying us saying, hey, we saw this happening in your network. We've taken these actions. These are some steps going forward that you'll want to take. And so it's an actual network operations center that runs 24/7, 365. And so it's
Okay. So how many actions, let's just use the last 3 years, how many actions would this have identified?
Let me back up before we answer that though too. The other part is if there was an incident, they would help us mitigate that incident too. So they would come in and help. Now, how many incidents do we get like this? It's very rare. I mean, we have had a couple of them that they have, but the software and stuff doesn't actually quarantines that computer, and it's not allowed to connect to the network anymore. And these guys, if it's something bigger, they would take and quarantine other devices and get them so they wouldn't communicate. How many? I think we had 2 last year. And they were resolved and they were not major incidents.
And then I'm confused on, thanks, Dan. And then that does confuse me a little bit because Riley said the main thing about this software is we're notified locally to come in and address the issues, but you're saying other people come in also?
if we have a larger incident. So, for example, Curry County, where they had their major incident, right? If we would have their support of them coming in and actually helping us do a recovery on something that's major. They have that we get the 24/7 support where they do remote, and that's 24/7, 365. We'd have on site if there was something that like took the whole network down. That is a benefit.
One thing's for sure, Curry County sure should take a commission off of all the software that's been sold from their incident. Holy cow! Just Umatilla County would be amazing.
We learned a lot from their loss.
Yeah,
And
now
it's
it's
not
our
just
loss.
Curry County,
All we do is keep spending money to cure Curry County issues.
Tillamook also had an issue. They actually had several. Their public library was hit, and then their actual network was hit.
District 1 just had an incident too.
That's true. UCFD had an incident where they were sending out malicious emails in the last 3 months. So their email server was hit. So there's a lot of it that's hitting close to home more recently.
Well, here I am working from a hotel, and just the ability to use some of our IT is getting to be extremely tough. I mean, not only do we pay additional fees, our productivity opportunities, we start restricting those too. And it's somewhere there's got to be a balancing act. We can't just keep adding. So I guess that's That's my only comments.
I hear what you're saying, Commissioner, but I also think if we don't keep adding it, are we opening ourselves up to being vulnerable?
Well, like we were told, Commissioner Schaefer, we're vulnerable no matter what. Nothing's 100% sure. At some time, there has to be a risk reward analysis done.
The biggest point is to be less vulnerable than the next guy. You want to be able to be the one where they're going, we won't mess with that one because they're too hard to get into. Let's go to the easier targets. You want to make yourself as hard of a target as possible.
Yeah, but at some point, it's going to be our employees are not going to have the opportunity to take advantage of of the tools that we give them because we have tightened it up so much. Anyway, those are my comments and fears, to be honest.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Do you have some, Commissioner?
I don't.
Okay, with that, I would entertain a motion.
Okay, authorize the approval and execution of the order with CIS for Managed Detection and Response, MDR services.
I'll second it.
Okay, got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you, Commissioner.
You.
Yes, thank you.
Looking for good news on this agenda somewhere. Burn ban.
I only have 9 minutes left, John. It'll get a lot better.
Next item is the annual burn ban. The request is to implement a burn ban for non-agricultural burning. The proposal as written is July 1, and that's what historically we have done. However, if you want to amend that, it's possible.
I would like to amend that.
I'm not going to give you any argument on that.
Okay. It's today. When is the soonest that we can implement
I would
this?
probably suggest noon tomorrow. That way it gives a little bit of chance to.
Okay.
If we try to do it today, I don't think you want
Is it going to be sealed on fucking Wagnall's porch until noon tomorrow?
Okay. So, I move to adopt order number BCC 2026-032 with an amendment to implement the burn ban on June 18th, 2026 at noon, 12 o'clock noon.
Second, that was strong endorsement. Thank you, Commissioner Timmons.
We got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next up is the letter of support.
This is a letter of support is requested from Woodstock Music Festival. It's for a military aerial support for the event scheduled for the 24th and 25th. And what this letter is to the military, indicating the support that is requested. It conforms with the requirements. It's in honor of two members that were killed that were from Umatilla County, as well as the Woodstock Music Festival and its continued support for veterans.
So I actually had this come in front of me from a couple different sources, and I couldn't be more proud to endorse this one. So I'm going to take the liberty and make the motion that we sign the letter of support, and I'm going to approve the letter and authorize the letter to be signed on behalf of the board.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. And next one, I think was Spout Springs. Yep, Spout Springs.
This is before the board, a request for proposal was issued for the redevelopment and reestablishment of Spout Springs as hopefully a ski area, as well as any other opportunities that the developer could come up with. There were 3 proposals. After review of those 3 proposals, the recommendation is to award the contract to Trevor Abel.
I would move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion
Aye, and
carries.
about 40,000 people jump up and down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm absolutely one of them. Camera installation.
This is one of the ending items for the central water project. The consultant has recommended the installation of a security system for the station area. And based on that, it is to be installed by the same engineer that developed the control system. And so the request is to authorize that installation for $20,250.
Questions or comments?
I'd move for approval.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
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 And I apologize, I have to jump off. My apologies.
Yep. No, we expected that. Thank you, Commissioner. Appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Okay. Did he jump off right before the fun stuff?
Yeah.
Is that what I just figured
He
out?
did.
Supplemental budgets. We're going to suspend our regular meeting and go into public hearing mode. With that, I will turn it over to you two.
Good morning, Commissioners. Robert Paul, CFO, Umatilla County.
Jason Jensen, new CFO.
Before you today, there are 5 supplemental budgets for your consideration. I'll summarize them and await questions. First of all, Budget Order 2026-60, General Fund, General County. The General Fund, General County program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in beginning fund balance of $1,300,000 and an increase in contingency of $1,300,000. Budget Order 2026-61, Nuisance Abatement Program, requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in local revenues of $50,000 and an increase in materials and services of $50,000. Budget Order 2026-62, Victims Conference, requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in local revenue of $30,000 and an increase in materials and services of $30,000. Budget Order 2026-63, the CARE program requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires a decrease in local revenue of $204,106, an increase in state revenue of $4,605, an increase in federal revenue of $100,000, a decrease in personnel services of $356,028, an increase in materials and services of $263,367, and a decrease in contingency of $6,840. And Budget Order 2026-68, the ECHO Community Benefit Plan requires a supplemental budget to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in beginning fund balance of $21,000, an increase in local revenue of $3,000, and an increase in materials and services of $31,400, and a decrease in contingency of $7,400.
Thank you, Robert. Any comments from the public? Anybody online? Any questions? Hearing and seeing none, we will now exit public hearing mode, go back to our regular meeting. And Commissioner.
I have a question on the CARE program.
Okay.
Can you explain that?
Recently, the CARE program came under the direction of Kim,
Right.
and she wanted to adjust the budget to what she felt was closer to actual. When the budget was created a year ago, there were some assumptions made that were incorrect, and when she took over the program, she felt it was better to adjust the budget to the entire budget and adjusted things as needed.
Okay, thank you.
Changes in personnel, there's changes in revenue.
Right. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
Okay, entertain motion.
Okay. I move to adopt budget, adopt budget order 2026-60.
Second, motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-61.
Second, motion been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-62.
Second, got a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-63.
Second, motion made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-68.
Second, motion made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's carry. Okay, and you gentlemen are still up under budget transfers.
Commissioners, Robert Paul CFO, there are, I believe, 10 budget orders for transfer for you to consider also. Budget order 2026-64, general fund land use planning requires a budget transfer to appropriate funding that was not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in personnel services of $40,000 and a decrease in contingency of $40,000. Budget order 2026-65, mental health reserve requires a budget transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $200,000 and a decrease in contingency of $200,000. Budget order 2026-66, health community benefit plan requires a budget transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $40,000 and a decrease in contingency of $40,000. Budget order 2026-69, general fund jail program requires an appropriation transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $330,000 and a decrease in contingency of $330,000. Budget order 2026-70, general fund public health modernization program requires a appropriations transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $25,000 and a decrease in contingency of $25,000. Budget order 2026-71, community justice community corrections program requires an appropriation transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in capital outlay of $46,000 and a decrease in contingency of $46,000. Budget order 2026-72, economic development program requires an appropriations transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $150,000 and a decrease in contingency of $150,000. Budget order 2026-73, economic development reserve program requires an appropriations transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $50,000 and a decrease in contingency of $50,000. Budget order 2026-74, school-based health center Hermiston requires an appropriations transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in personnel services of $25,000, an increase in materials and services of $5,000, and a decrease in contingency of $30,000. Budget order 2026-75, 2050 plan requires an appropriations transfer to appropriate funding not known at the adoption of the budget. This requires an increase in materials and services of $40,000 and a decrease in contingency of $40,000.
Questions or comments?
I do have a couple questions. On the 2050 plan, what was that used for, the 40,000?
That was required to be transferred because at the time the 2050 plan was budgeted, we were unaware of a contract for
Jane Hill?
lobbying. We are basically paying part of the lobbying costs for the federal the Water Resources Department bill to have the land transferred. Is it Bureau of Reclamation or is it the Corps of Engineers?
Corps of
To the
Engineers.
county?
That's Corps of Engineers. That's for the Brownstein group.
It's for the what?
Brownstein Group, they're the lobby firm that's helping us with the land transfer down at the pump station.
Oh, okay. My other question was the jail program.
Yep. I believe that primarily that's related to the health contract, the medical health contract that they have, and a couple of payments were made from the 24-25 year, didn't get paid till the 25-26 year. That's about $80,000 to $190,000 a month, and we needed to prepare for us to be caught up.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
it does. Okay. I move to adopt budget order 2026-64.
Second, motion made and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-65.
Second, motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-66.
Second, motion made and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-69.
Second, motion made and second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-70.
Second, motion made and seconded. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-71.
Second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-72.
Second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-73.
Second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-74.
Second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. I move to adopt budget order 2026-75.
Second, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion's carry. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fee ordinance amendment. Also a public hearing, so we're going to suspend our regular meeting and go back into public hearing mode. With that, Mr. Warner.
This is the second reading of the comprehensive fee update, the ordinance. And for questions, there are several departments requesting changes. One of the big ones is the public health bill. Specific questions about department.
Any questions?
I don't have any questions. Joe, did you want to comment on anything or?
Tomorrow, Public Health Director of Umatilla County Public Health. Most of our changes are base 10% increase for both our inspection programs and our septic system program. The one change that is more unique has to do with our temporary restaurant. Big change of the structure. We were notified in our training review this last year that we are no longer allowing us to have the late fee keys built in. So we had a base fee, we had a fee if you came to us kind of in the last couple of days, and then we had a fee if we showed up at the event and you were operating and had not acquired the permit. If you wanted to stay and get a permit, we had a higher fee that was set for OHA's current interpretation. We've had those fees for decades. The current interpretation is that amounts to a new fee category, which we don't have authority to offer. And so we had to remove the base fee. Basically just changed everything to a flat fee rate, but it had to go up.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Not something I wanted to do, but
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
Understood. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from the public, either in the room or online? Okay, hearing and seeing none, we will exit public hearing mode, go back to our regular meeting.
Okay, I move to adopt ordinance number 2026-05.
Second. The motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I think with that, we have reached the end of our agenda. Final closing thoughts, Commissioner Timmons.
I don't have any. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have any either. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.